Hold on. Okay, this is that is a problem. Hold on 1 second, sir.
Okay.
All right. All right. There you go.
There we are.
All right. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live right now.
The ticker says we're live, so I believe
The
we are
ticker
live.
says, yeah,
Anyway,
the
let's
ticker.
look at the comments section, see if we have any comments. Yep, we're
Yeah,
live. There we
we're
go.
all the way live. All right, awesome. Hello, everyone. I am Marcus Farrell, 1/3 of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Thank you again for joining us. And your hostess with the mostest, or host with the most here is with me, Benjamin Dixon. Ben, how are you, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing good, brother. It is good to be here. 1/3. We're missing Mundell. He is not going to be with us today, but we'll hold down the fort.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's been a week, Ben. It's been one of those politically changing weeks, and even though, as much as I like to consistently, as I always say, wow, this light above me is tripping right now. It's all good. I like to consistently say I want to see it all burn down. I think the Supreme Court this week decided that they were going to help us speed that process along.
Exactly.
And it's. I mean, where you want to start, because there were so many things that happened this week from our judicial branch of government that seemed so divisive, seemed non-partial, and seemed completely against what the Supreme Court is doing. And I also, before we get into it, I also have to say this to you, brother. I know everybody's like back and forth on Biden, but he's fundamentally not playing the same game as the Republicans are. He says he should have extended the Supreme Court to take away their power, because I guarantee you that a President Trump or the next Republican president will be more than willing to set that precedent. He's worried He's worried about precedent, and the Republicans are worried about winning, right? And it's like this, and it's crazy. It's like akin to this old honorable system of politics where nothing ever happens and we have to stick to certain codes on both sides of the aisle. The opposite side of the aisle is not playing whatsoever right now. So what are your thoughts on this thing? And we can get
First of all, you preaching. You nailed it. If I have to start with Joe Biden, let's start there and get this out of the way. A couple of things. I agree. Joe Biden is not playing the same game. Joe Biden is an institutionalist, and this institution is burning to the ground, Joe. And so it refuses to make structural changes. But I guarantee you, man, if Joe Biden does not extend the Supreme Court, it's a must. It's mandatory at this point. And I know he's going to face some challenges, particularly with whatever has to happen in the House of Representatives. That said, if they don't make an effort to do so, they would be ceding this country to a radical Supreme Court that has 3 justices. 1/3 of it was appointed by a president who has now been indicted twice, once on the federal level and once on the state level. And we know for a fact that whether or not there was proof that Donald Trump colluded with Russia, fine. We got to cede that ground. They weren't able to give that information. They weren't able to prove that. But we know that election was interfered with to begin with. So we have an illegitimate president who is now indicted, who has appointed 1/3 of the Supreme Court that is now acting as a radical, theocratic, fascist Supreme Court, undoing all of the progress that we have made in this country here until this point. And Joe Biden is like, well, this is fine.
Right.
No.
Well, it's not.
It's not.
And I mean, there's no honor amongst thieves, right? When we talk about, because normally we get on our show and we've spent about almost close to 3 years now railing on what can and can't be done by government, right? I have to legitimately ask the question of, what is Joe Biden here for? What is the point of him being our president when he's not?
You want my conspiracy theory hat?
Well, yeah, go ahead, please.
Hang on, let me get
I need to hear something.
Here's my conspiracy theory hat. If I were to go as far with this, if I go to the logical conclusion based on the results that we get, right? The Bible says that you would judge a tree by the fruit it bears. In other words, show me what you produce, and that tells me who you are. So if we go by that logic and we take it to this natural conclusion, Joe Biden is a conspirator. He's here to usher it in.
Right. And you could almost write the talking points from the Democratic Party during this presidential season as we speak. You can almost write it. And what's the talking points? Come on, Ben. Let's go through the talking points. First talking point.
Yeah, we don't want to politicize. We don't want to politicize it. We don't want to politicize the Supreme Court that has already been politicized. 3 picks illegitimate. One of them straight stolen from Barack Obama, the seat that was the Merrick Garland's, right? But they don't want to politicize it. Okay.
That's talking point number 1. What's talking point number 2? I know you got another before, because I got a couple myself. I got one. How about this right? Talking point number 2. Jim Clyburn, come and save us.
We just need to take our time, and we need to do whatever. Let me stop.
I won't stop. I'm not going to stop. I got all the niggas on lockdown. The only time we need to work with Republicans is when I need to save a seat. Anyway,
here's a second.
Go ahead.
Here's a third talking point. They are afraid if we do it, then Republicans are going to do worse. My guy, they're already doing worse.
Right. Talking point number 4 from the Democratic Party during this debacle of a situation is if we do what they do, it makes us no better than them. But would you vote for me?
Oh yeah. There it is. And here it is. We don't want to ruffle the feathers of the moderates. We don't want to seem too extreme, right? Because God forbid there would be a counterbalance. Here's the thing. Can anyone in this country say that there is an actual counterbalance to the extreme right? In other words, is there something on the left that is remotely close to what is going on the right?
No, nothing. Because nothing. And to be quite honest with you, the left is just the center. So there's no left.
Period.
Because they have used this scare tactic that obviously white folks in the middle of the country always fall for, and that is socialism equals communism equals Russia equals Cuba, right? And there could be a democracy, a democratic government, right? That serves its people without it being socialism.
That's right.
But if you were to say democratic socialism, as our brother Bernie Sanders has spoken about a million times, it's not the Antichrist, right? But there's so many corporate money interests in American government as we speak right now that it becomes almost impossible when you are a congressman and you know that all you have to do is get a couple of bills passed or not allow a couple of bills to be passed.
That's right.
And then you are able to retire from Congress and be on the board of a Fortune 500 company. And that's on both sides of the aisle, right? And we have to stop playing this we have to stop playing this game that is the game of safety by nothingness, right? Because when you are always doing nothing, you know how they always talk about how the pendulum swings.
That's
the,
it.
the pendulum goes from the middle to the right, then back a little bit more to the middle, further to the right, and there's never anything that turns into the left. And I mean, I hate for this to happen in America, but if you see what's going on in France,
come on,
like, if you're not doing your job for the people, then the people, we have more numbers than you, right? And they're not allowing us options. And this morning, Ben, you're gonna hate me when I say it. This morning, I had a dream this morning about a president, Cornel West.
huh. Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. I know that.
Listen. I serve a miracle working God. I do. It's going to take a miracle working God. Right. But he's my guy. Love him. I love him. I love Cornel West.
Do you think, Benjamin, do you think that the Kennedy guy and Marianne are prepared for if something happens to Joe Biden? Or do you think that they already will insert someone else that is of the establishment sort of ilk to take his place if something were to happen to Joe Biden?
Man, I don't know that I want to talk presidential politics because it's nothing but thorns and bristles and scorn and shame and pain there, brother. It's like, beware who goes there in this landscape, man, because it's a dog eat dog world out there right now. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care who the nominee is. It's got to be to hold the line. Y'all can call it. Somebody's gonna say it's vote blue no matter who. We'll call it what you want to call it. But if we don't hold the line against these fascists, we do see that they're playing. I know you see it. They are playing for keeps, man. Like forever. They are creating a system. They want to get The Handmaid's Tale and turn it into reality. They are talking about executing members of the LGBTQIA community. So I don't rock with RFK. He can kick bricks. We got left with the lesser Kennedy. Marianne Williamson, love her as a spiritual person. I love what she represents, what she stands for, but she does have some takes that I just found out about that I'm like, but we'd have to go one by one, and that's not even worth the squeeze, man. Like Biden, who knows, man? You seem to know something I don't know. You think he's going to check out here before?
No, I don't think he's going to check out, and I definitely don't wish that brother that situation on anyone. You got to excuse me. I'm trying to get that glare out of my picture. Oh, no problem. I don't wish that on anyone or anything bad to happen to him. But he's 80. He's in his 80s.
Yeah, man. He's
in his 80s.
It feels like elder abuse.
And I'm not trying to be an ageist, but maybe this is ageist, but like it's the perfect time to sit down somewhere if I were him, right? Mm-hmm. And there has been plenty of gaffes. I think the man's doing the best that he possibly can, but I think that he is literally the figurehead.
You know what? But you know what, man? If they let Ronald Reagan. You know what I mean? Ronald Reagan was running around here not even half senile, like his brain was already gone, like before he even got to his second term. So, if they did everything, I ain't worried about Biden's age. They had Ronald Reagan. Leave it. I don't care. If he is no longer amongst the living, then okay, fair game. Who's on deck? Let's see what, let the cards fall where they are. But would you not support Kamala?
I would. I mean,
you would
as much as I wouldn't vote for Cornel. I mean, what the fuck do we have? Oh, I'm sorry. What do we have? What do we have, Benjamin? What Ben? What Ben?
You know this. You know how I know this show is black. This is one of the blackest shows ever.
Why? Why you say that?
The fire alarm that you hear is just somebody. One of us. We don't know who. Y'all don't know who. It's one of us, but we don't know.
Oh, it's not me. I changed mine. I changed my
not
battery.
Me. Wait a minute,
Yeah. Wait.
It ain't me because I changed mine.
Hold on.
It'll come around.
It's me.
Man, I knew it was you, but I wasn't gonna put you on blast.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't burn down.
It was supposed to be. We could have kept that between us, man.
Hey,
man.
let's get into it. Let's get into
All right.
it real quick. The Supreme Court landmark decision on Thursday to gut affirmative action has made it unlawful for colleges to take race into consideration as a specific factor in admissions. The ruling means that admissions programs like those at the two universities at the center of the case, Harvard and the University of North Carolina, are no longer permitted. Here are some other key effects of the ruling. In other words, the student must be treated based on his or her experiences as an individual, not on the basis of race. But before we go into that, I just want to say my thought process on this is also there's going to be a lot of pissed off white women.
No, it's not. I agree with your logic 100%. But haven't white women shown their capacity to just continue to shoot themselves in the foot and smile about it?
Yes, but things like this are the things that actually get them on our side when they actually they start getting, when these universities start doing what money institutions typically do and lean towards white men. And then there's another conversation that I want to have, and I understand affirmative action, the portion that I wondered two things. Has the lawsuit happened for legacy admissions? Has that happened yet? I wonder if the legacy conversation has happened. The second thing I have is I'm very interested in how many black Americans were getting in the first place, even with affirmative action. I hate to have that conversation, but we got to be honest, right?
Far and in between,
right? And also third, this does nothing to help the people of color argument. Right, because this was an Asian sister that literally was complaining about black people getting in ahead of her, and this was a group. And I ain't got nothing against my API brothers and sisters, but this is not a good look, right? Because you already have sort of the model minority status, as some of you already claim, and some of you don't. And I think to myself, and this is I want to be very careful with my statement. I think to myself, when we scream big tent, right? How many Democrats have we heard speak out about the affirmative action decision? Not the other decisions that were made this week. How many Democrats that were not black spoke out about the affirmative action decision? Right? Because we got to realize as black Americans, believe it or not, at some point we got to realize is we all we got. And we got a few allies that are willing to step up to the plate for us. We can't get things done without help from other people. We don't have the numbers. But the issue is that are other folks looking at black America like we're the problem? I know this is I'm not even trying to make a hot take, but we got to look at facts here, right? And then when they find out, what's going to stop them from using zip codes? If I use 30354 or 50 in Atlanta, guess what? Those are black areas. Maybe they're going to have a preference for that. So I'm interested in what's your thoughts, man.
Man, look, everybody knows that the fastest way to success in this country is to attack black people, to find a way to mock If you can find a way to mock black people, you can make a lot of money. And then all around way of co-opting and absorbing our blackness without ever having to deal with any of the ramifications of being black. In other words, everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black.
That's right.
This decision on the Supreme Court, thankfully, I have been able to see there have been a lot of Asian Americans or Asian Americans who have come out and stood against this decision. And they are making the case really clear that this one individual who allowed themselves to be used by white supremacists by the name of Ed Blum, who has been trying to overturn not Roe versus Wade, but his assignment wasn't Roe versus Wade. His assignment was affirmative action, right? By the name of Ed Blum. He's founded Students for Fair Admissions. And they tried with a couple of white folks. One of them, their name was Abby. They tried to do this same decision, but she was so sub-mediocre that the Supreme Court said, going back home, you're not smart enough. So then they said, who can we get to help put a wedge between affirmative action and the black community? Let's ask for some Asians. They created a website. Ed Blum, a white man, created a landing page, several landing pages, a website where he solicited submissions from Asian students who felt like they were being discriminated against. This entire thing reeks of white supremacy and the fact that you're always going to find people in every race who realize the fastest way to get ahead in the United States of America is to find a way to be racist towards black people.
Black people. I have to agree with you, man. And not only is first off, that's good information on that website, man. Maybe you can send that link to me and we can share it. Is it still up?
No, I don't know if that site is still up, but I was at the site, and it's the story of Ed Blum. I mean, they basically are going to do a documentary on this guy, all of his techniques and his tactics. He's been very thorough and very diligent for the last 20 years trying to overthrow affirmative action, and he finally got somebody to help him do it. And he uses the division, right? This is what they do, man. They use the division between our communities that naturally exist. Right? We're all minorities in this capitalist system and we're all fighting for resources. But let's be real, at the bottom of every totem is black folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, America, whoever's watching the show, Asian people, black people, Latinx folks, AAPI folks, whatever your racial makeup is, white people who care. We can't let these folks divide us. And stop being your token sellout for somebody. Stop doing that.
Reach.
Why do we have to have one little monkey of a human being, little racist of a human being, little self-hating
Clarence Thomas
human in each race?
Daniel Cameron.
Whoa. I'm sorry. Siri just popped up in my ears. Why do we have to have one person from each demographic?
Candace Owens.
That has to literally go against their whole culture and get paid to do this. They get a lot of money to be against. I'll never forget being in Arizona in the year of our Lord 2015 and meeting a Latinx delegation of Republicans.
That's funny.
Houseway.
That's like being the log cabin Republicans. You're gay in the party that has just made it legal to discriminate against you.
Right. Right. Like you are supportive of Joe Arpaio, the person who sent tanks down your city in Guadalupe.
So stupid.
Right.
Sorry, kids. Don't repeat that. Sorry, Jeremiah.
So and here's the thing. Yeah, don't listen to Daddy Jeremiah. He's over here with Uncle Marcus, and Uncle Marcus is a hot mess. But you have to think about it, Ben. how about HBCUs?
Come
How
on,
are you
man.
gonna treat that? Right?
Mhm.
How about the schools that are majority Asian and or majority whatever? It's gonna affect your own people when you make decisions like that,
That's
because
right.
when America gets a cold, people of
Black people
color
get the flu.
at least get sick, and black people get the flu, if not COVID. Right? So Ben, what do you think they're gonna? What do you think? What do you think about this decision when it comes down to HBCUs?
Well, this is what makes me so mad at Deion Sanders. I'm just gonna be
Oh,
honest with you, bro. I
oh.
just
You see, I
this
got
is
my Florida State stuff on today, man.
man,
Don't go there.
man, I'm sorry. I love you, bro. I love you with the love of Christ, and I love Deion, love him. But this is why what he did sucks even more, because we had a hope that, you know what, we could take care of ourselves, especially if we strike strategically, which was to say, if every black athlete that is being recruited by these white institutions gave them the middle finger, you know, rhetorically speaking, and went to an HBCU,
Right.
then the funding crisis that HBCUs have would not exist, and we can take care of ourselves. That's the promise that Deion Sanders played on and then ran off like your average player would.
Yeah, and at the University of Colorado, and I will say this right here, Dion was on the verge of something very special. See, a lot of people don't know this when it comes down to HBCU athletics, and we'll get back to the Supreme Court in a second. But in the 1960s and the 1970s, when schools didn't have all the black athletes because they didn't want our black behinds on their campus, right? Some of the most amazing and major upsets in American history has happened when all these black athletes in the 60s and the 70s were destroying PWIs in sports. And as soon as they got an opportunity, and this is how we know that money is involved, and has been involved in college sports before there was a single NIL deal, right? It's because they pay our kids to stop going to our schools, the HBCUs, and go, cross town to Florida State, or go
Alabama.
Stop going to Bethune-Cookman University, or BCC at the time, and start going to Miami. People don't know this. Florida A&M beat Miami in their national championship season. The only HBCU to ever win a Division II championship was Florida A&M University. And this was the first year that they had the championship, because all of the best players in the state of Florida were still going to FAMU, and I believe they went undefeated that year. But guess what happened 2 years later? FAMU lost every scholarship player, and Florida State managed to get, and I love my Seminoles to death, but Florida State managed to pick up all those players that had previously committed because it gave an opportunity, and they saw the talent level. But that's athletics. When it comes down to admissions, what do you think?
Well, black folks are spectacular. Whether it burns them how talented we are. So much so that they're like, take that, because now you won't get into these institutions because you're not really that talented. Meanwhile, we never really needed your handouts. We have some of the most brilliant brains in this country, and those students who choose those paths are going to stand out, and they're going to get admitted anyway. And those white students who feel like they're going to get something out of this, well, you're competing against legacies. You're just an average white person. You're just mediocre.
You're a meh white person.
You're not, Guys, do you realize what you just did to yourselves? You made it a free-for-all to say, you know what, that spot that we, those legacies that are going to be there anyway, we could have had a little bit of diversity for white women, But they're like, oh no, black people aren't smart.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's a very take, but a very good take. But the problem is that we also have to know that they are voting against their interest at
Yep.
all times,
At all times.
historically, under the guise that they are being attacked in this country and that they're becoming the minority in this country. And what they really don't realize, some of these folks who are so conservative and vote the way they do and support the things that they support, is they would have more money in their pocket if they supported a diverse country.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be in the trailer park if you had some more diversity in the country.
Listen, man, some of the dopest parties I ever went to before I got saved was at the trailer parks, man.
Hey, listen, I had a trailer up until 2012, so
I might go get a trailer. Come on, man. Right, but no. I hear you, because you ain't wrong, man. They literally could be in a better Owsley, Kentucky, right? Just to bring it home. What you're saying, 95% Republican has the highest, 95% white has the highest concentration of SNAP benefits, food stamps, anywhere in the country.
Wait. Say it ain't so, sir.
Now, what it is this year, because this information I'm pulling from a meme. I would say this information is at least 2017. As somewhere around that year of our Lord 2017, Owsley, Kentucky was 95% white, 95% Republican, and consumed the greatest percentage of SNAP benefits anywhere in the country. But they just voted for a party that has made it clear that their goal in 2024 is to do away with feeding students at schools.
So that means that they're voting and supporting things that are against their own
hunger. Yes, that hunger pain they're feeling right now. They voted for that.
Yeah, but I thought it was the Mexicans' fault. I thought it was immigration. I thought it was the black people in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Chicago.
Chicago is the problem with your little tiny ass town in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, with your trailer
Hackensack back. Come on, man.
Trailer magnet. Your tornado
magnet, junction.
Your tornado magnet of a house, right? Like and you're still waiting for the SEC, your favorite team to win the SEC championship. I'm sorry, Georgia got that. It is what it is.
Listen, and I love them. I love every single. Sometimes you have to shake your friend and be like, "Hey, you got to slap your friend and slap them out of it." Like, we're mocking you. Yes. We're laughing at you, but we hope that people would realize you just shot yourself in the foot. White women, particularly. White people generally, especially if you're poor and white, and you're still voting for this party that has committed itself to making sure that you're hungry and homeless. Okay.
Right. Let's get back to the Supreme Court, man, because it's been a full week. We got a couple minutes left to show, man. So look, where you want to go? Do you want to go with student debt, or do you want to go with the LGBTQ thing?
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Let's rock. Hey, take it away, bro, because I have my viewpoints on this also. Go ahead.
Listen, man. The decision that they made in the 303 creative case was brought to us by a woman who created a couple out of thin air. Well, one of the individuals was a straight guy who actually was married with kids. He filled out a form, and she took his name and created him to be in some kind of gay couple. This is a full out lie that she concocted to create this boogeyman that did not exist for her, which was, oh my God, I'm going to have to do a website for a gay couple. Based on that lie and that false premise, they took it all the way to the Supreme Court. And as a result of it, it is now legal to discriminate against gay people in this country. Based on a lie.
And what is the exact ruling? The ruling says is that you don't have to serve someone if they're gay. If they're gay.
No, it's based on your religious identification and your religious preference, right? If somebody's lifestyle is not agreeable to you based on your belief system, you have the right to deny them service.
Okay, Ben, I have something.
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to take advantage of this.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
Just follow me. Hip hop is the number one selling music genre across the planet on this earth, this little ball of dirt that we're on. Let's get the rappers to stop selling music.
Oh, you know they're not going to do that.
I know, but just follow me, right? You can no longer come into my dispensary if you wear that MAGA hat.
Yeah.
I think they need to feel it themselves. I mean, it's an unfortunate. First off, it's so bigoted and unnecessary. But if we have to play some sort of game to fight back ourselves, man, because at this point, it seems like they're winning a culture war that
we're not even fighting.
We didn't even know we were in at this point, right? Yep. I had no idea that it was I had no idea that God, and these folks probably claim that they serve the same God that we do, but that's neither here nor there. But that God had a problem with making a cake.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that cakes were around like that during when the Bible was written. So you're the pastor. You need to tell me what I'm missing here. Maybe I'm missing something. Could you?
No, you're not missing anything. Is that you have a, first of all, the God of Christian nationalism is white supremacy. Full stop. They don't serve the same God that we serve. For those of you who don't even believe, that's fine. Just pause for 1 second. We'll be right back with you. Their God needed a lie in order to get a victory. They're praising God for this 303 creative case. Is your God so weak that he has to use a lie? Because the God I serve is not a man that he should lie. Oh, look at that. God is not a man. Come on, that he should lie. That's all.
Yeah. We have to fight back, right? My sister Teslin Figueroa, shout out to her for her amazing, her amazing Breakfast Club interview with the presidential candidate. But she always says this right here, and to all the 192 people who are watching us, maybe I shouldn't count that out, but everybody who's watching us right now, I want to say something to you guys. It's time for you to run for office.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's time for you, and it's time for you to run for an office that you're not supposed to run for. It's time for you to run for Congress. It's time for you to run for Senate. It's time for you to run for state Senate. Forget the dog catcher, right? And if you did drugs in the past, that's perfectly fine. I swear I saw Donald Trump having some residue on his nose one time when he was coming out of his bag.
Especially Trump Jr.
Trump Jr. Be on. Yeah, he'd be on it. I think you should run. It's time for you to run for office. Mondale did it.
Yeah, shout out to Mondale.
Yeah, Mondale did it. I ran for office. I'm probably going to run one more time. And I'm going to run on a weed candidate slate, right? I'm just going to run on cannabis legalization. You need to run for the things that you care about. The reason why I bring this up is because we have to put people in position to have a bench of people that are capable of not being sold out, and also raise up in the ranks so they can run for president at some point after having certain good qualifications or something that's going to make you be able to be beneficial to run for president. We need about 12 more Bernie Sanders. We need about 12 more.
I'd vote for AOC. Would she be old enough in 2024?
Yeah, she's old enough now, I think.
Oh man, that would be the only outside radical campaign that I would, step away from Biden for, would be AOC.
Cory Bush.
Got that in mind. Well, yes, Cory Bush, but I think AOC has the infrastructure to do it.
She does. And she would. But the thing about it is, and that's why, and a lot of people say AOC sold out. AOC is about to run for president at some point, and I hate to be like this, but you know, a lot of people say she sold out, and there's a lot of votes that she's taken that I am completely against, but and also a
Yeah,
lot of statements that she's made that I'm completely
yeah,
against. But
yeah,
let me tell you the truth.
yeah,
She's way better than anything the Democratic Party has offered up to our plate.
yeah, yeah. Facts. And then I'll do the rest of this leg for you. And this may not represent what you believe in, man, but I got to go one step further. Just like she is that much better than anything the Democratic Party has to offer, I don't know a single Democrat who can be compared to the devils that the Republican Party is putting up for us right now, and what they want to do, and what they're actively doing, and what their Supreme Court just did, and what Ron DeSantis promised he's going to do. Like these fascists, they're fangs out,
Right.
you know.
Right. I'm not going to sit up here and share my love for the Democratic Party, even though I'm still registered. I voted for so many different parties last time that I voted that it really doesn't even matter anymore. But I will say this right here. Ruben Gallego is running for Senate against Kirsten Sinema in the great state of Arizona right now. Go send him some money. Right, Ruben is my guy. I think we can get Ruben on our show. Actually, that would be yeah. I think I will. Yeah. I'll try to bring Ruben on. But Ruben is running against Kirsten Sinema, and for Kirsten to go from the Democratic Party to independent because she wants to be independent, that means that she wants to deal with fascists a little bit more,
a little more freely, without the pretense,
a little freely. Right. So my thing is this right here. At least get the people out who are doing the most damage. I want to minimize damage at this point. And we have to have a realistic conversation. I mean, this week, the reparations task force in California came out with their suggestions for cash payments the state of California would have to make to the descendants of slaves, right? If you have a fascist state house, they will probably never, ever consider it. If you have a moderate state house, they probably will never consider it. But if you have a progressive state house, those are the types of things that can happen and you can actually win. That's why I'm asking you to run for office, because Civics 101 means if you don't have any idea on how to run, if you don't have the idea how laws are passed, you need people to implement those laws. Please implement those laws and figure out the best way possible for us as a people to kind of get ahead through folks who watch shows like this and folks who listen in on things like this right here. It's not a negative thing. I'm asking you to practice your American right, your constitutional right to run for office. It's built in the laws there. So go ahead and do it. Ben, do you have anything else on this LGBT case? Because I really want to get into this Department of Education case.
No, man, that's it, man. I just one last thing I would say is if we don't unify, like all of us, Asian Americans, Hispanic, Latino, gay, lesbian, black, if we don't, man, do y'all see how the Supreme Court just shot us all down separately? And none of us can stand together. And they shut down the LGBTQIA community. Pop.
Yep.
The black community. Pop. You know what I mean? Like they just got us all because we're all in our silos. None of us are working together because we all got beef between us. We're gonna die separately if we don't unify.
Yeah, and we're all standing around like that Spider-Man meme. Meanwhile, somehow the Democratic establishment has managed to blame Killer Mike, Ice Cube, and Bernie Sanders for all of this. Have you noticed that part? Yeah. Have you noticed them literally blaming Bernie's run in 2015 against Hillary?
Yeah.
we have to keep reliving this fight.
Nah, I'm not.
Yeah, I was a part of it initially. I don't like getting beat up twice.
Come on, you of all people, you were a part of it. We have no obligation to discuss that foolishness. We're not going. I'm not going back to Bernie versus Hillary wars. Y'all, forgetting those things we try behind.
And for the last, I guess, portion of this thing. First off, you're watching Clickbaity Political Thirstrap. We are back after a little hiatus. Benjamin Dixon, myself, Marcus Farrell. You can find me at Marcus for America, and also our brother Mondale. That's
right.
Mondale Robinson, Mayor Mondale Robinson. For those,
Yep.
please subscribe to this channel, like, share, tell your friends about us. We're doing our damn best to bring you the best coverage from a Black male perspective and a Black perspective in general. About things that are going on in our society right now. And I want to get into this last one. This is the student debt one. The U.S. Supreme Court has struck down President Biden's plan for federal student loan forgiveness. Millions of federal borrowers will not see their debts decreased or erased. In an address Friday, Biden said his administration will pursue a new path of providing debt relief. And in this law, in a 6-3 vote, the High Court ruled that federal law does not authorize the Department of Education to cancel such student loan debt. Folks, if you can't see it yet, you need to see it now. America is a corporation, and they want their money. And what's the brother's name? I'm gonna think of his name in 1 second, but the comedian who said, George. That said that it's a great big old party and you're not invited to it. George Carlin.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Rufus from Bill and Ted.
That's right. You're not invited in this party, and you thought that we had some kind of power when we even elected the president to use presidential orders to make sure that student debt relief happened. Check this out. Everybody's a student. What human being, what citizen, or what kind of citizen is running around America right now saying, I'm so pissed off that I don't have to pay my debt back for college?
Some white folks are doing that though.
It's not their money, Ben.
No, they were like, some of them were like, ooh, I'm a proud American and I want to pay my bills. They so stupid, bro. You can get these clowns to do anything as long as you say it's the Democratic Party. I'm not gonna breathe oxygen because these cats, right. They don't have them all.
Yeah, it's if this country was a country that it was, first off, I say this a lot. The aliens, Andre 3000 and Michael Jackson and Prince and stuff like that, they're not going to come back. They're not going to come and visit us because they literally are making us look.
They're embarrassing us. Earth is ghetto.
Earth is the hood. Earth is like
lock the doors, bro.
Earth is like MLK Drive. No.
Oh, come on, man! Don't do us like that. Come on, man! No, you're not.
Earth is the fourth.
I'm not going with you.
Earth is the fourth trailer. Earth is a meth lab.
Earth is when you change neighborhoods and not every yard is cut. Every other yard is cut. That's Earth. That's
right. And we're gonna have a guy that's in prison as the next.
Oh my God! See, we don't even have to be hyperbolic, bro. We can just tell the truth.
Yeah, he's gonna listen.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is a congressperson on Earth.
Right, that's right. And I want to point something out about the Supreme Court and them blaming Bernie voters and this, that, and the other for Hillary losing. You notice who doesn't get any smoke?
White women.
RGB.
No,
RBG,
dead, bro.
But she doesn't get any smoke for stepping down when we had a Democratic president.
But you know who does get smoke about that decision? It's just the craziest thing. Barack Obama. They are attacking Barack Obama for not forcing her to step down when he actually called her to the White House and tried to talk her out of staying on. He did his best to get. What was he going to do? Like throw her out the balcony? And so the crazy thing is that RGB is not taking any heat, but Barack Obama is. But he tried to ask her to step down. Now I don't take up for Barack Obama often. Probably this
I was like, whoa.
Second time in my life taking up for Barack Obama, but my kids are listening. Gosh darn, if y'all blame another black man for something a white woman did.
Yeah, but that's America. Like that's the fundamentals of our country as we speak right now, right? Like, we have to place blame on others. Listen, if Joe Biden loses and there's still a 90+% turnout of black people for Joe Biden,
They're gonna blame black people.
They're gonna blame Cornel West.
Yeah, I might blame them too.
But
I love them, and I love them.
But the problem is that why isn't the onus on the campaign to become more populist in their decisions?
Because nobody will believe them at this point. I don't. If Joe Biden came out saying that he was going to help us get reparations, it's like, okay, Joe, nah, man, nobody's gonna believe him.
At this point, I think that we could have a country. You remember when Biden said he was going to be the most progressive labor president in the history of all time?
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing it right now. I see this Supreme Court striking down labor unions. I see this Supreme Court striking down as much as they possibly
Obergefell versus Hodges, marriage equality. That's next. Yes.
Yeah, that's next. And they're coming for your 4th Amendment and your 13th Amendment soon too. Right. I'll go that far. They might not do it because they have enough black people that are cooning for them. They need some of us to be free, right? But they can go
Vernon Moore, Tim Scott. I can name them all. What's that lady who from Fort Lauderdale? There's so many, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, Candace. I mean, and then we have elected officials, right? Like, what's the brother's name? The young black brother that's elected. Looked like he could play fullback for the Saints.
What is that? I'm thinking of the preacher from North Carolina, the lieutenant governor, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, right. That doesn't count. Hey, black people who get elected.
Then I've got about Herschel Walker.
Oh my God, I'm so happy
Hey, champ, yeah. You ready for the match, champ?
Football.
Oh my God!
But shout out to Herschel Walker's son, who gave us the most memorable Senate race.
Oh my God! It was so messy.
Yeah, it was so messy. Shout out to that brother. I appreciate you. I love you wherever you are. If you ever watch this show, you're more than welcome to join Clickbaity Political Thirstrap.
Nah, man, he can go to hell.
What? He can go to hell. Oh, his son was trolling him.
Yeah, but his son is one of those gay people who he's part of the reason so many gay people are under attack around the country.
Really? Right? What happened?
He plays that, bro. I mean, like he's converted. Christian, what's his name? Christian Walker. Now he's converted and he's, trying to be whatever, more progressive. I don't know. He's had to come to, liberal Jesus moment. I don't know. But during the campaign, he was the worst person attacking, talking about the culture wars, which is really ironic when you think about it. Him being as flamingly gay as he was, being a conservative in that way, using that gayness to protect people who are going to attack him in the long run. It's like being a log cabin Republican. Like, how are you said it, like how some of these Mexican Americans are, how are they voting for a party that literally is coming after you? That was Christian Walker, but I think, like, as of last week, I think he's converted. He's not good. He's not a Republican or a conservative anymore.
Hey, so real quick, everybody who's watching the show, we're about to get up out of here. But before we go, I do want to ask our squirrel gang, Trap Squad, and everybody who's watching us, throw some squirrels up for us. And have you been enjoying our show since we came back? We're just doing a check-in. You guys are our family. You guys are the reason why we do this right here, other than therapy, because I think
yes, sir.
I think we all kind of give each other therapy, us, me, Mondale, and Benjamin. But have you guys been enjoying us since we've been back? We're gonna keep doing this.
It's good to be back, man. It's good to be sitting here with y'all.
It is. It is. It feels good, and I think we got a good flow of things going on. We'll be here every Sunday at 5 o'clock. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, subscribe. Get in our inbox, add us as friends. If you got topics that you want to talk about, make sure that you talk about them. Share this, and you can find me, Marcus Farrell, at Marcus for America on Instagram and Twitter. And Ben, you can end this thing real quick.
Yeah, man, at Benjamin P. Dixon on Twitter. Come on over and join the shenanigans. I'm trying to burn it down as Twitter goes down. So come on over. That's it, man. I got nothing more to add. Peace, Mundell, Dwayne, and to the whole crew. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.